Welcome again to Joe's Son of Boxing. There was a very, very good fight, which I strongly advise you to go and see. It was on Sunday morning, and it took place in Japan. I've only just got around to seeing it because I had the great pleasure of watching Shakur Stevenson and the Oshaki Foster fights, both incredibly dull. I think were they both on Top Rank? I think that Top Rank card was terrible, but I stayed up into the early hours to watch that and foolishly just fell asleep, missed the Japanese card that was much, much better, and I should have known better because they're smaller guys. I really like the small guys. So I've only just got around to seeing this fight, and it was between KAZUTO IOKA, who is a 4-weight world champ. That's minimum weight, light fly, and super fly. 35 years old now. Kind of thought he was there for the taking, and sure enough, the undefeated Fernando Martinez came along, undefeated in 16 fights, 17 now, 32 years old, from Argentina, and he took the belt, and he won I thought it was a wide decision. I had it 117-111. One of the judges had it 120-108, so he gave every round to Martinez. And even though you can argue that's a bit strong, but the 3 rounds I gave to IOKA, they were kind of swing rounds. It was a case of Martinez coming out and this was his chance, his golden opportunity. He wasn't going to be denied. He came in as the IBF super flyweight champ, so this was a unification. But this was against a Japanese, kind of a modern day legend in Japan, and if he was going to win this fight, he would then put himself right in the firing line for another unification against Bam Rodriguez, and therein lies the big money. So the winner of this fight had a lot to fight for. Very good fight, even though it was statistically one-sided in terms of rounds, in terms of the scorecards. It was competitive, highly competitive, with lots and lots of action that you expect from guys from the super flyweight division, bantamweight downwards. These little guys are fantastic to watch. They throw so many punches. And with Martinez, I got the feeling that there was an air of, I will not be denied. Whereas, and he is 32, it's 3 years younger than IOKA, but IOKA's now, I think that was his 34th fight, or no, 35th fight. He's now 31, 3-1. I did feel that IOKA, 4 weight divisions, veteran, very talented, very, very talented, but I felt he might be there for the taking. And that's kind of what it seemed. There were less miles on the clock for Fernando Martinez. And it did kind of show, because the energy level just seemed a bit too much for IOKA. IOKA was trying to, use all that old man savvy, all that experience, thread the punches very accurately, like a lot of these Japanese fighters, not backing off at all. He didn't actually do anything wrong, IOKA. He didn't fight badly. It's just that he didn't quite have enough at this point of his career to hold off an undefeated guy who hasn't really built his legacy yet. I mean, okay, he's now a 2-belt champion, Superfly champ, but he's looking for legacy, I think. That's the impression I got, and he fought like it. And for the first 3 rounds, I mean, Martinez just came out like a whirling dervish, and even though IOKA, I've seen it all before, that seemed to be his attitude. He was losing the rounds. In the 4th round, I thought he looked a lot better for the first 2 minutes. But even then, in the 3rd minute, Martinez, came on strong. And as I've said before, I tend to break rounds down into 3 minutes. Like a minute. Minute number 1 is one contest. Minute number 2 is another contest. Minute number 3 is a third contest. And even though I gave the first 2 minutes to IOKA, of course, there are exceptions, like the 3rd minute. If one guy really dominates the 3rd minute and lands some very heavy punches, he can still win the round. And I got the feeling that was a swing round, really. But I think I did give it to IOKA by, hair's breadth. And this fight sort of continued with that pattern. Lots of actions. Ioka, very skillful, very accurate. But you know what? Even though Martinez was throwing more punches and obviously missing with more because he was throwing more, he was still landing some very, very good flush punches on Ioka, especially the uppercuts. He was landing some hellacious uppercuts. And Ioka, great chin. He took them. He actually absolutely took them. Obviously, he's got 3 defeats now. They've all been on points. And the previous one was back in 2018 against Donny Nietes. So he'd been on an unbeaten run. Very, very good fight. He'll probably get into the Hall of Fame, I imagine. With belts in 4 divisions and a very good record. But I think he's just a bit past it now. He's not shot. He's not by no means a bad fighter, and there's plenty of people he can defeat. And I don't think on the evidence of this fight he will retire. But just on the day he was beaten by a better man, younger, physically younger in terms of miles on the clock, energy and so on, as well as being chronologically 3 years younger. Martinez just seemed to have that verve. He seemed to have that sort of, you see some people and they're on a mission and they've got that desire, that almost obsessive, I really am you're going to have to kill me to beat me. And even though Martinez did use up huge gulps of energy throughout the first 8-9 rounds and was looking to sort of sag a little bit, he was still throwing punches, because I was thinking Ioka might take over in the last third of the fight. You never know. The guy, Martinez, might run out of juice. But he didn't really. In fact, in the last round, he seemed to almost get a second wind and was slinging punches as if they were going out of fashion again. So the right man won. I think it was a wide decision. I mean, the scorecards, like I say, 121, 108, 117, 111, which was, I think, it was the same as mine. And one guy did 116, 112. And I watched a Spanish language recording, and I think I don't speak Spanish, but from what I read on the captions, the commentators had it 116, 112 as well. I think that's a little bit close, but hey, the right guy got it. So will Martinez now fight Bam? Be careful what you wish for, I see Bam being way too much for Martinez, but that's not to say he would be a complete no-hoper. On the contrary, you just never know. I mean, I know it was a flash knockdown, but Bam was on the floor against against Estrada, and anyone who is front running for that amount of time can get a little bit lax at times, like he did. I mean, if that had been a bigger puncher than Navarrete, would he? I've seen stranger things happen than Fernando Martinez beat Bam Rodriguez, although I would make Bam a very, very heavy favourite. But what do you think? Did you see this fight? If not, go and have a look at it, because it's very, very good. It's on YouTube. Have a look before they take it down, and let me know any opinions you may have, okay? So thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It takes a second to hit the button. You can unsubscribe later if you don't like it. And also hit the like button as well. Spread the word about Joe Son of Boxing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and I'll get you later. Bye for now.